My name is John. I am the CEO of Phoenix Aviation Group, a company based in Hong Kong. About 2.5 years ago, we got involved with the Ministry of Transport and the Department of Airports to look at some of the assets in the group to see how current and new infrastructure could make a bigger contribution to tourism in Thailand. I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but about over the last 10 years, air travel has almost tripled in number. That has put enormous pressure on infrastructure, airports, hotels, and in particular the top 5 destinations in Thailand. Well, Hua Hin is probably number 6 on that list of 5 international destinations. A primary destination for domestic travelers, but not quite as well developed with the international. Part of that is we don't have a truly functioning airport at this time, which would make it easy for people to come. As everyone knows, that road from Bangkok should be about 2 or 2.5 hours, but sometimes can be 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 hours. That unpredictability makes it difficult for short stay guests, and as a result, they tend to use Hua Hin as a side trip. We came on and looked at a number of airports, including Surat Thani, Krabi, with the Department of Airports, and we focused in on Hua Hin. Primarily because Hua Hin has all of the features of a primary destination for international travelers. We have the 5-star hotels, we have a world-class beach, we have infrastructure that serves an audience like that. The missing piece is bringing people point to point to Hua Hin. So over a period of time, we sat down with the government and made a proposal to privatize Hua Hin Airport. That process culminated in April of this year, where we made an announcement with the Department of Airports that we would begin the process of privatizing the airport. We secured a 5-year agreement to bring a host of not only services, but international aircraft and airlines directly to Hua Hin from a radius, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. That being the case, we were able then to take a look at some services, because as you can imagine, our international guests who are coming to a resort town like Hua Hin have the expectation of a Phuket, a Samui, a Bali. Yet in many ways, our infrastructure isn't built for that. Our infrastructure is built for people driving to Hua Hin. So we don't have natural transportation and we don't have a functioning airport. So what we did is we decided to go out and do a virtual roadshow with the airlines in August of this year after we secured our agreement. And what came back pleasantly was extremely high awareness for Hua Hin in all of our major destinations that we were focused on. Yet at the same time, we heard a lot of very regular and consistent concerns about generally the road coming from Bangkok to Hua Hin. We then decided that if we're going to meet the expectations for people who are flying directly to Hua Hin, there's some things we need to be able to do and to deliver to those people. As much as we wanted to go to Europe and Australia, the realities of our airport are that we have a runway that is 2.1 kilometers long currently. Translated, that means we can land a narrow-body jet which can hold up to approximately 200 people. It has a radius of about 5.5 hours. So I'll do the geography for you. That means we can reach India and China as major markets, and Southeast Asia. Now what we've decided to do is focus on Hong Kong and Singapore and utilize those as international hop-off points to reach Australia, Europe, Middle East, and North America. Through Cathay Pacific and Hong Kong Express, through Singapore Airlines and Qantas with their Scoot and Jetstar discount partners in Singapore, we are able to reach those destinations. We then went further and began a process of working with TAT to be able to promote Hua Hin in those destinations in order to drive the demand. And that was a fairly straightforward process, and TAT have been extremely supportive in Hua Hin bringing its story to these international markets. We now successfully have 7 MOUs with airlines representing India, China, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. That is the critical mass that we need to launch our airport. Secondly, with the support of TAT, we now have a plan to promote Hua Hin in all of these international destinations, not only within our 5.5 hour radius, but also other international locations. Just to give you an idea, if a plane, one of our partners, let's call it Jetstar, leaves Singapore to come direct to Hua Hin, it is very likely that that will almost be a balance between 50% residents of Singapore and 50% international. That international is likely to be Australia and New Zealand or Europe, using Singapore as a hop-off point. So immediately we're getting that broader look than simply people who are resident in Singapore. We also know that Hua Hin doesn't need more visitors. We need visitors to stay longer and spend more money. That will come from an international visitor as opposed to a domestic. With that part of the plan in place, it's our obligation, because we have the expectations for people coming to visit Hua Hin, that we make this a world-class experience on the level of a Phuket, a Samui, a Bali. That starts with the airport. We know Hua Hin already has the infrastructure, has the brands, has the beach and the golf and the ecotourism and the healthcare to satisfy all of those requirements, but people's first impressions are just that, critical to them leaving and talking about their experience here.